That's right.
If you're not watching SideKick Power Hour, what are they missing if they're not watching?
Me,
not half the story.
and you, and yeah, but that's exactly right. If
And
you're not watching
you.
SideKick Power Hour, you're only watching half the story.
I don't know. I think that doesn't make any sense, though.
It doesn't, but neither does Untucked, because you're watching the whole story on RuPaul's Drag Race, because that's the whole point. It's its own show. So
Okay, so now that Drag Race All Star Season 8 is over, and spoiler, Jimbo was crowned.
I didn't watch it yet. I was watching it. I was saving it for the end of the summer.
I just want to reiterate that I feel like this is one of the worst seasons of Drag Race ever.
That's not fair. Jimbo was an amazing queen.
Listen, Jimbo was fantastic from start to finish. There were a lot of really great performances and great drag on this season. A lot of cool guest stars. I just mean in general, like I had the least fun watching it because I was angry the whole time. I don't like being angry.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Shea Coulee season though, where like it was designed to make Shea or where Shea Coulee was pretty much guaranteed to be the winner that season, and then Jimbo was guaranteed to be the winner this season, only because they were clearly the best out of everybody else. It was like,
well,
I mean, as much as I love James Mansfield, I don't think James Mansfield was going to win.
I love James. I think James had a great season. James was probably
because when Trixie won, I didn't think Trixie was ever going to win a drag race, and she won. So,
well, welcome to SideKick Power Hour. This is another. Right. Hi, this is SideKick Power Hour. My name is Nakia.
My name is Joshua R. Pangborn,
and we do this kind of weekly, mostly weekly.
Unless we have guests from across the world, and then we do it on irregular dates. But that is
usually we're live on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. But today we're live on Sunday at 12:30 Eastern because we are very, very excited to have a special guest with us today, all the way from Norway. Big Daddy Karsten is going to be joining us in just a moment. We're also going to have Bryce Quart on today, and Bryce is no stranger to the show because not only have we had him on to chit chat about him, but he has also been on multiple times as part of the Bear World News, which we need to bring back for season 4. I think
we should absolutely do that.
Yeah,
maybe bring Bryce about that today.
Yeah, and I know John was talking about doing something and maybe revamping it, so maybe we should check in with him again too. I guess John over at Bear World Magazine, our buddy.
I'm the new editor-in-chief.
That's right, aka Stan the Mechanic. This is really cool for me because both of these guys are musicians, and usually we don't have. I guess this season actually we have had a few where we've had like at least one, if not two, musicians.
We've had a lot of musicians on this season, which I think is fabulous. I mean, it's to promote queer, fat positive, sex positive musicians, and I mean, other than I didn't know there were any except for you until we started having SideKick Power Hour. So.
Well, speaking of other queer, fat positive musicians that'll be on the show coming up, we do have Tom Goss and Liz DeRoche who will be with us on August 14th. And then season 3 will be closing out with Benjamin Cole on August 28th. So we will probably have another guest joining him. It might be Martine, his husband, maybe. I don't know. Let me chat with him.
We'll have to figure out how we're doing that episode because
they're also in Spain.
No, but you're going to be in.
I fly home that day.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah,
never mind.
That morning, yeah.
I thought you were staying until Tuesday. I thought it was a Thursday.
No, I'm not Amy Manning at this time.
All right then. Oh, we have some guests actually watching us today. Hello, Jalen.
Jalen, hey Siri, what time is it in Taiwan?
In Taipei City, Taiwan, it's 12:43 a.m.
Wow.
So Jalen is staying up late, and then right outside of Dallas, Texas, we've got Jim
McGee. or as you Crooniversians might know him, the leading force at the Discord channel right now. Always checking in, always letting us know what's going on with him and talking about what we're up to, and we really appreciate it. If you would like to join the Discord, you can do so by becoming a member of the Crooniverse. Go over to patreon.com/sidekick productions. With that being said, we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we will be joined by the one and only Big Daddy Karsten. I'm super stoked. Very, very, very stoked. Let's take a look at this first.
Hello? Somebody there? Hey. Who are you?
Harvest? Yes, this symbol is on every single victim.
So it's vengeance you seek.
Nothing about this is fine.
People don't just randomly kill. There has to be a pattern here.
I screwed up big time.
I can't find an answer about the scissor slasher, and I can't find an answer about what I am.
That was not my turn.
I trust you.
This is terrifying. But fun?
Right.
Okay, so maybe I embellish a thing or two on immortality.
With love as well as with magic. There is always a price.
I am very much looking forward to it.
And I know everybody has been looking forward to me finishing this episode, which I had planned to have ready for you today. But as most of the Crooniverse knows, I have been sick for most of the week and finally started to turn around Friday morning. So thanks for all the well wishes and good vibes and nudes or whatever else you sent to make me smile and feel better. I really appreciate it. Now, speaking of nudes, we're going to bring in somebody that we love a great deal. And I don't think that Josh has ever hung out with them online before, so I'm also excited to introduce them. Please welcome to the show. It's Big Daddy Karsten.
Hey!
Hello.
What's up?
Welcome.
So glad to have you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And you're in your cock hat.
Yeah! This is my favorite hat. Bryce says I got to get a new one since I've had it for 2 months.
2 months?
But I don't listen to the kids. I love cock, and I'm going to be representing cock for as long as
She's serving cock. So
how often does Bryce think you need a new hat? If 2 months seems like it's a very short time.
Every week. Don't ever have kids. They're going to bother you for the rest of your life. It's very, very annoying.
My babies are all typed on a screen, and that's all I need. So.
Okay, so we know it's almost 1 a.m. in Taiwan. What time is it in Norway?
Oh God, it's not that late. This is actually a perfect time. It's 6:45.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's a good
light out because we see the sun behind you. So,
but that's a fun thing because Bryce said that the first time he visited me over here, and he was like, "The sun doesn't set in Norway; it just moves sideways."
Is that far north? I didn't think about that. Yeah.
No, but it's around the time he's here. It's about that, but it's not like that right now. Sun will set around 11. So
okay, gotcha.
So you're like Alaska then? Okay, then yeah.
Alaska? Are we on the same like northern?
You might
be.
I feel like this is an answer that Chonkahedron would have if he was here.
But he's probably not. It's Wales time. He's sleeping probably. It's sundown.
Yeah. So. Or he's hanging out with Chris Grace already.
Yes. I mean maybe because no, Chris is not there till August. So.
Oh, that's right. And there's still 2 days till August.
Yes.
Okay. So Karsten, we we've had a lot of musicians on this season already. We've had Z Machine, we've had Chris Condi, we've had Dorian Wood, we've had Caleb DeCasper.
Ada Vox. We had
Ada Vox was just last
Kyle
week.
McIntyre.
Kyle McIntyre. Yeah,
But you finally got like an untalented artist on. I really appreciate it. It's
well, I say all that.
Wealth. So
I mentioned how many musicians that we've had on because I think it's right now more than ever, than I can remember, and I'm 48. I just feel like there is more really out open queer musicians and bands making music and being really visible and putting themselves out there. And for me, somebody who grew up when I first started performing in the 90s, I just can't even fathom what that would have felt like to me then. So I'm curious from your point of view, you're a few years younger than I am. What is that like for you? Has it always just kind of felt that way, or did you also see a big shift in the visibility of queer artists?
I wasn't even thinking about queer artists for a long time. I didn't come out before I was 28. Like, wow. This is my 6th year out. I was already a profiled rapper in Norway. I was on doing battles who were posted in big channels throughout Norway. So I wasn't really looking for. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I was just trying to cover up so bad that I wasn't really looking for them. And when I started looking for them after I came out, I kind of had a hard time finding the queer rappers that I kind of like thought was really good, and was like thinking like, oh, these people are like a level above me and they give me something to strive for. I found one at the time when I was like, this man is a machine. Damn, he's good. And that was Cakes to Killa. And it's like, and I got to open for him like twice in Norway, and he's a great guy as well. And also, of course, I found Big Dipper after a while, and really liked what he was doing in a sense, like and this is no tea, no shade. Like he's a great performer,
sure,
but he's not like a rapper's rapper. So but I still could take inspiration. No, but I'm not trying to be an asshole.
I know. It's just so funny. If we just took that one clip and put it by itself, that would be so funny.
Yeah, but it's like he still has something special and unique that you kind of vibe with. And if you want to be like a bare rapper, you kind of have to look to the people who's done it successfully.
Absolutely.
And he's probably the only one who's like done it really successfully, at least in the States. I'm very successful in Norway, but like not in the States in that way.
So but you saw him and thought like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, like felt inspired to do something probably a little bit different than what I've had been doing.
Right.
And it kind of like gave me the little nudge to maybe like do a little more like pop oriented music. And that worked really well for me. Like,
yeah,
it brought me on the biggest stage for artists in Norway. I did something called MGP. It's like actually the photo you have on me for this show is from the dance rehearsals for MGP, and it's like the election of artists to represent Norway in Eurovision. And that was like from like that. Smile could totally be a Big Dipper song. It could totally have been a Big Dipper song. So like it's inspiration there for sure. So, but in the sense of like having queer artists to look up to, or who was like me and did what I was doing, no, I didn't have that. And I think that's a big reason why I also tend to make the music I need to hear for myself, because it kind of like haven't been made, and not in the format that I would most like to hear it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much why I do what I do too, because when I tell stories and I cast people the way that I wish that I could have seen that when I was growing up, and I just didn't see it. So I love that. That's some of your inspiration as well, is to make stuff that you didn't see because that's what you needed to see.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to bring this clip up anyway because I think it's super duper cool, and folks at home, you know, if you didn't quite catch exactly how Karsten was explaining this, essentially this is like the next to last round to get this to be the song for Norway in Eurovision, right?
Well, Nick, we should also explain what Eurovision is, because not every person watching might know what Eurovision is. I know that it's very popular.
If the gays in the States doesn't know what Eurovision is,
right.
They're not gay. They're not gay.
I think most people know what Eurovision.
I can tell you, my boyfriend does not know what Eurovision is.
Oh my God, Paul is going to smack you.
He doesn't know what Eurovision is.
Paul, if you're watching right now, please chime in and say otherwise, even if it's a lie.
Straight. Is he straight acting?
Of course, he's straight acting.
Is he masked for mask?
He is very no. He's not masked for mask, but I think a lot of people, actually, a lot of the fans of the Crooniverse, the people who watch our shows, many of them did come out later in life, and many of them did have not lived a gay life. So I think that there's probably a lot of people who are gay who were afraid to know these things when they were younger. So
fair enough. Well, it's the biggest music television show in the world. 230 million people tune in to watch the finals of this European singing competition every year. So it's major. Unfortunately, I didn't make it, but it was.
Well, but you did make it because you were on television. That's the thing. It's like you were.
Like we're 5.4 million people in Norway, and 1 million people are watching this live.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, listen, it is a huge achievement, and not only did you get to do it, but you got to do it as your authentic self.
Yeah.
You know, and you were up there looking super duper hot, serving the whole time. And like, you know, I was just playing that one part over and over again because I realized it's giving RuPaul finale number. You know what I mean? where like she doesn't really have to move that much.
You. My God, shady. Shady as fuck.
Oh, that's so funny.
Cool.
Well, as a big boy who was choreographed on national television, I can tell you that it is not easy to number one, to even like have people tell you which way to move and where to be and all that kind of stuff. But number two, to actually go through all of that stuff and then have somebody turn the light on and say, okay, when that red light comes on, there's going to be, millions of people watching,
But it's not only doing like getting the moves in, it's remembering what camera to look into at what specific second. Yeah. And the thing is that I was like, when we started doing rehearsals, I was like, I want to dance a lot, but I don't think it's smart because I'm going to be very out of breath. And the most fuck shit ever is when you get to like, because the first hook when I sing, it's smooth, it's nice, not a single note out of tune, it's great. And then you come to the second chorus, it's like, I'm having my Taylor Swift at the VMA moment. And then the third chorus is coming, and you're like, just try to by the very best while smiling. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, you did a great job. And I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you were already doing this before you came out, before you became like a gay rapper or a bear rapper. You were already a rapper,
Yeah.
And
like me and my group Folk Fiend, we played like the biggest music festivals in Norway. We were like predicted to become like the first real like gangster rap group to really make it big in Norway.
Right.
That didn't happen, but that was just because we were gangsters and we did fuck up for ourselves.
Well, tell me about that. How many people were in that?
Oh, we were a duo. We were a duo. Just me and my boy Egu.
Gotcha.
He's still doing his thing down in the south of Norway with his new clique. We're still friends.
Gotcha.
Still talk. Still do music from time to time, but we live very different lives. So doing more folk Fiender stuff would be like weird, kind of.
Sure.
Because we live such different lives now, and rap is supposed to be about your life and your experiences and your views and your values and shit like that. And we don't mix as well as we used to. In a sense. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you struck out on your own and you ended up where you are, because I feel like, just from the short time that I've known about you, and been tapped into what you've been doing, I've seen this kind of continuing trajectory, like you just continue to do cooler and cooler things. And it is neat, we're going to have Bryce in here in a bit. And I know that you love to joke that he's your son and family this and all that.
He's my Padawan.
But that is something that I think is also, it speaks to a theme that we talk about here a lot, Josh, and that's the community aspect of it. And Josh, you are somebody that is so great at, trying to, do more for other people and help mentor other people and people that might not have experience doing this, that, or the other. You will say, come and do this, or let me help you do that. And I think that's really, really important. Did you have anybody like that, Karsten, that did that for you?
No, never.
Wow.
And I think that's why it feels so good to be doing it as well. And y'all need to understand, when I say that he's my son, my Padawan, my little shit kid of a son, it's with love. Like, we have, like, we just figured that if drag queens can have drag mothers and drag daughters, I could be his rap dad. Be my rap son. He's still one of my best friends. He's still one of the people I share the most shit with in my life. We talk every day. But yeah, it's good to be a mentor. It's good to pass on knowledge. Not only because it's cool to see other people grow, but you grow up from it yourself as well. Right. And shit you might not have been thinking that much about, like technically wise or marketing wise or whatever, in a long time, and suddenly clicks for you. Well, that's what he needs.
Yeah.
Then remember, I need to get better at doing that shit. And then I evolve as well, and I get better at doing the things the knowledge I'm giving off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also seeing his growth is one of the best things as well. Like when I met Bryce, he was I want to say he was okay at rapping. He really wasn't. But like now he rap circles around most motherfuckers out there.
He's really good. Yeah.
Cool to have been a part of that journey. And he's been doing the work. I just been showing him how, like, this is the formula for how you this is how you get to the answer of this equation. But every equation is different. So you still have to like know how to use the formula. This is a tool. And you can use that tool in whatever way you want.
So you're kind of like the Robin Williams to his Matt Damon.
Who?
It's a Good Will Hunting reference. That is
very, I haven't seen I know who both of them are.
Yeah,
I think it's more. I'm more of his Mrs. Doubtfire to his. If you're going to use a Robin Williams reference,
you're the Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm taking him to the pool. The cat gets wet and everything. It's funny.
So one of the things that you do in Smile is sing, and I think Josh, didn't you play Smile for Paul this weekend?
Well, I played Smile for Paul and Stuart, yeah, and they weren't sure if you were just rapping, or if you were also doing the chorus, because the chorus is more pop and it's more sung, and so they weren't sure if because they weren't watching the video, they were driving the car, and I was playing the video on my phone, so they weren't sure if you were singing or just rapping, and somebody else was singing the chorus.
Well, I am singing.
Yeah.
Like I'm the son of an opera singer. Like my mom tried to give my ADHD ass singing lessons when I was like 6. She gave up when I was like 6.5 because I couldn't stand still. But like singing has been a huge part of my life. I hadn't done it for a lot of years when I first started like dabbling in it again after I came out and shit, or around that time. But no, singing has been huge part of my life.
Wow.
And it still is, yeah.
I love that. So what was the first song that you remember singing?
The first song I remember singing?
Yeah.
That I didn't write, like the first I was taught, like.
Yeah, or that you heard on the radio. And
When you wish upon a star, when I was a boy soprano, I sang When You Wish Upon a Star. It was cute. It was cute.
I love that. Did you perform? Did your parents like put you in shows or pageants or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My mom had me dancing ballet. She had me going to. I was the biggest, fattest little yellow butterfly in the whole production when I was 8 years old.
Oh my God.
I have played piano, guitar, drums. I don't know if it's the right translation, but the cornet, like a small
mini trumpet.
Mini trumpet, yeah.
Trumpet. Thank you. So yeah, like I've been on a stage for as long as I can walk.
So you're like Lady Gaga of the rap world, then. So
the Lady Gaga of the rap world.
she plays all these instruments.
Yeah, she does everything.
Oh yeah, no, I don't play those instruments anymore. The only thing me and Lady Gaga has in common is that I have a lot of meat on my body.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a valid thing to have, though. So
thank you. But it's great to be compared to such greatness.
So you mentioned that you were a fat kid.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've always been Big Daddy, basically.
I have always been. I don't know. Was it just me that froze, or am I frozen?
No, you're frozen.
Okay, it's just my computer. Well, fuck it then. I'll just keep looking at the light and keep.
Okay.
No, I've always been a bigger boy.
Yeah,
definitely. But growing up, I was like a very active big boy. I played basketball for a lot of years. I've always been like super strong. So even though I didn't have the height for it, I still played power forward on the basketball team and kicked the asses of the 6 foot, 8, 7 footer motherfuckers under there.
Wait, how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Really? That's pretty tall.
Yeah, I'm a foot shorter than you are. So you can put me in your pocket.
One day you'll grow. It'll happen.
I think the only way I'm growing is this way. So
that's the best way.
Oh, that's so funny.
If you're growing in that way and that way, you're golden.
So you were a big boy growing up.
Yeah.
Did you since you weren't really did you know that you were queer as a kid, or did that come later?
I always thought that I was bisexual because I was able to have sex with girls from like my teenage years. But I was also the kid who kept to himself that he got hard from watching The Bear Bus Driver when I went from my mom's to my dad's for the weekend.
Right.
But I kept it to myself. Just like in the States, the South here is very conservative, very Christian oriented. And you didn't like, I didn't I thought, well, if I'm bi, that's cool. Nobody needs to know that, and I can just find a girl, and that would be great. But I started hating myself very early in my early 20s.
Mm.
And if I hadn't come out, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't have been here right now.
Wow.
And it started when I moved to Oslo, and it was like, oh shit, I'm in Oslo. I don't get recognized as much as I do when I'm down south, and I can like walk around the city without like people knowing who I am that in the same way. So it's like, okay, maybe I can explore a little bit here.
Mm.
And when I first hooked up with a guy, I was like, you're not bi, you're gay. Like, this is the best shit that you've ever experienced, and you've never been close to having that feeling with a girl, and you're not bi, you're gay. So I kind of like started to embrace that around then, I guess summer of 2016. The last thing I did before moving to Oslo was have sex with a girl. Same night before I packed up my shit and left. And three weeks later, I was like, I'm not bi, I'm gay.
I think that it's interesting. I didn't realize that there was a strong conservative movement in Norway, and so then that got me thinking, how big is Norway compared to the United States? And
it's so small.
I had no idea that it was that small.
Oh no, we're super small. We're like 5.4 million in total. Like less people live in my country than what lives in New York.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Well, I think that's true for most European countries, Nakia. There's a large contingent of, I think of the U.S. we have a very large thought that Europe is incredibly progressive and very modern and very open-minded and all. But when I started working where I work, I learned very quickly that there's plenty of Europeans who are just as terrible as some people are in America. So in terms of being conservative, in terms of limited thoughts and all that. So people are the same everywhere, Nakia.
Mm.
In general, I will claim that Europe is more progressive, but and like some countries, such as Norway and Denmark, are really small countries. But then you have like big countries like Germany and UK, who are a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So it's very diverse.
Yeah,
in that sense.
Yeah.
But like you still have countries like Poland, who has LGBTQIA plus free zones, where you're not allowed to be there if you're queer.
Wow.
And then you have countries like Norway, who is now considering allowing a third gender.
Oh,
so it's
wonderful.
So like you can get it in your passport.
I love that.
I think Norway was the first country.
It's not happening yet. They're like talking about it in the parliament and shit. And Sweden already did it, I think. I think Sweden already did it. Yeah. So it's like states. You know, it's like you have New York where you can pretty much be who you want to be, and then you have countries who are like Florida where people are fascists. Like it's
right.
Well, parts of New York. Being from a very small I was from a very different part of New York State. So.
Sorry, from that perspective at least.
So we're gonna get Bryce in here in just a minute. But before we do, yeah, we have to. I did want to touch on something else, and that, you know, because of the very nature of what SideKick Productions is, we talk a lot about what it's like to be you know, fat and bigger bodied in the entertainment industry. Have you experienced any kind of like fat phobia in the rap world, or homophobia in the rap world, that in like, whereas somebody wouldn't even book you because of this, or you got overlooked because of that, like that sort of thing?
Really? Hell yeah, all the time. Like both fat phobic and homophobia is definitely it's a reason why I'm still the only openly profiled queer rapper in Norway. Like I came out in 2016 and nobody has followed suit.
Mm.
And that it's also, I also feel like a very different kind of response from when I'm doing more pop oriented music, from when I'm doing like more music that's more like true to hip hop.
Right.
Because I try to go through the correct channels for each and every release and try to like make sure that I reach the right audiences.
Right.
So when I release like a very hip hoppy, sounds weird saying that, but like it sounds corny, but like when I do something that's more true to rap, and I would probably release a music video through YLTV, which is like the biggest YouTube channel for rap music in Scandinavia.
Gotcha.
And I can see like the difference in the comments from other videos where like people aren't like saying, "Oh, he's not good." They're like, "Oh, it's disgusting. He's gay."
Right.
While other people will be criticized on what they're doing, and I will be criticized from who I am. So that's a big difference. And also in other stuff as well, you will get overlooked. You won't get booked for certain things. They want like I was advised from a former manager of mine that I should stop posting pictures of myself from the nude beach, because you can do that if you're muscle toned and or if you have or if you're a girl with a stereotypically great body, you can do that. But he said that I would not get sponsors, for example, if I posted the pics I was doing. And I said, fuck that, I'm posting what I want to post.
Right.
And it's worked out well. Like it's landed me other type of gigs, but not maybe the type of gigs we were looking for. But it's as long as it's like, I think that everything you do will open and close doors, no matter who you are. And if the doors you didn't want to open, don't cry about it, because other good opportunities will come, and you just have to roll with the punches and try to like do the things that you grab the opportunities that are being given to you, and that comes naturally from being who you are, instead of trying to adapting to what other people want you to be. Because you will get a chance, you will get a way to climb the ladder. You just have to be open to it and willing to do it, kind of.
I think that the best artists are the ones who are truest to themselves. So that's a great feeling to have, I think.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Yes.
Sometimes, of course.
Yeah.
But if there are things that you're thinking to yourself that I would be perfect for this if they gave me a shot. If they would just try to get, like, if I pitch a song or I pitch a video idea or something like that, and they were like, "Ah, no, it's not going to work because people don't want to see that," and like, you don't know if they're going to like that. You don't know if they want to see that, because they haven't been shown anything like this. Yeah. So that's still annoying. That still hurts, but there will be other opportunities, and there will be other places you can go, and maybe later on you will have the opportunity to show it what you really wanted to show, kind of, in the same sense. Am I just babbling, or am I making sense at all?
I think you're good, but I think what Josh said about being true to yourself, again, it just kind of goes back to this theme that keeps coming up with you, which is like every time that you are true to yourself, something good happens to you, something you kind of level up, and that's the only way to be. And that's one of the reasons that I really have gravitated towards you and started, trying to learn more about you. And as I did learn more about you, start pestering you to be involved in one of my songs. which we finally are. I've got a mix date on the calendar so we can get it mixed, and then it'll go to mastering, and then we got to figure out how to shoot the music video. So we're either I have to come to Norway or you're gonna have to come to New York.
Well, if some of these bear lines just started booking me in the States.
Trust me, I feel the same way. So.
Yeah. Well, what we need to do is we need to put together a tour that's like, some great bear artists of our own, and then just put that out on our own. That's what we should do.
Maybe meaty bits for the road, Nakia.
What'd you say?
Meaty bits for the road.
Kind of, yeah, maybe something like that. But speaking of meaty, Bryce Quart is in the studio in the backstage area right now. He'll be joining us in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Bryce and Karsten together. They're going to overlap for just a little bit, and then we're going to kick Karsten out and focus the rest of our time with Bryce. So we'll be right back after this message.
You can call yourself a chubby chaser, even if you're not a twink. You wanna hurt me? Well, I say yay. Sex is the best sex, that's what they say. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, so listen to my advice. Come here, just a little bit closer. I'm a laugh machine, I'll leave you tickled pink. Let's clown around if that's your kink. We can clown around if that's your kink. Yes, you can say that I've got daddy issues.
All righty, there's Bryce Quartz.
Hello.
We lost Karsten somewhere.
He just didn't want to talk to me.
Oh no, he's been talking about looking forward to talking to you. So I don't know what happened. Let me just message him. Oh, he said Frozen. Okay.
Well, he wouldn't have to reference Frozen because it is from his hometown, Arendal. So
that's right.
He's probably coming in to sing a song or something. I don't know.
Maybe he'll come in and sing "Let It Go." It looks like he's trying to connect right now.
He's probably doing.
Well, now that I'm hard after watching that Patreon clip.
I mean, it is a very sexy musical, so.
It is, and one that you could be in a very similar thing, but we've just got to get that audition. So you got to.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I just don't want Will to film that.
Why?
Because I feel like it would just be funny, and he would just laugh at me. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you don't have to have Will film it. All you have to do is just set your camera on the desk and film it.
Yeah. I could just record the other parts, the other lines, I'll do that before, and I'll just talk to myself. But I do want to do it. Trust me. I've been taking a hiatus from doing like a lot of shows in the city. So like I have more time now. So it's like, and I've, we'll get into it, but I've pushed my music out a little further too. So I have time.
I know you got a rosebud a little bit more. Okay. Well, let's get Karsten in here.
Hi.
Bryce's dad.
Are you wearing clean underwear?
I'm not wearing any.
Good boy. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Good. Do you smell like cum?
Yeah.
Good boy. That's my boy.
I have such different lessons from my parents. I don't know.
That's so true. Now, guys, how did you meet? Growler, Grinder, what?
So we met on a Facebook group on Facebook for bears, and it was more that I saw him say he posted something in there to promote his first English feature, and I heard it and was like, oh my god! And I immediately friended him and DM'd him and was like, can I get a feature? Because of course that's what you do as a baby SoundCloud rapper. You ask everyone for a feature. So he's like, no, you suck. And he's like, but you know, after I think he heard like 2 more of my songs, and he's like, "But you have like some potential, I guess. So like, just do this, this, and this, and then you know, maybe I'll consider it." And then
What
I
is it,
took
like a
the notes.
pyramid scheme? Like, you've got to sell this, you've got to do this, read this book, and then call me.
Exactly.
I'm way of rap.
But yeah, ironically enough, it was a Facebook group for bears, which
Wow.
you know, I think is funny.
Well, it's funny that, you know, I'm so glad that you you led with that. You know, that he didn't think you were very good because he had already said this earlier.
And if it makes you feel
I
better,
heard it.
Bryce, if it makes you feel better, I met Nakia because Nakia insulted my work too. So
It is true. It is true.
Look at us.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you know, the sometimes when the universe does stuff like that, in most cases in my life, those kinds of moments where it feels like it could go either way, you know, if you're able to stick through it, you end up with something really special. And that seems like what the two of you guys have, Bryce and Karsten. Karsten, you know, we were talking about the mentor aspect of it earlier, but Bryce, from your perspective, what does it feel like to have someone to mentor you like that?
You know, I will say that, you know, I sucked at music for the first 3 years because I just did not take constructive criticism, and I just didn't really take advice from anyone. And I think like whenever I first started talking to Karsten, and he was kind of a little bit of a bitch to me about it, I took it in a different light though, of like, well, he knows what he's talking about because he's a professional. And so like I actually was able for the first time to take that constructive criticism. And to be honest with you, I wish more people that made music did that, because my God, if people just took a little advice, it would take you a lot further. And I mean, and over the years since we've been friends, like almost 3 years now, like it's changed like my whole perspective on not just as a musician, but like as a person. Like we've been there for each other through like a lot of major life changes. So I feel really lucky to have him in my life, and I cry to him like at least once a week and tell him I miss him, because when I'm there in Norway though, like it's just a very validating experience to be with someone who believes in you the way that I believe in myself, you know, or want to. And sometimes you can lose those powers of believing in yourself. But when you have someone there to validate you and push you to keep going, it really like changes everything. So, but yeah, it was I definitely feel honored that I'm his son. But you know, there are times where like he's still a bitch to me, but I'm just a bitch back now, so it's fine.
I love that. I love that. It seems like a really special relationship. I know growing up for me, I had the really good fortune of having some really, really good mentors in my life. Joshua, I don't know about you. Did you have a lot of those types of people?
I didn't. I had a lot of people tell me I couldn't do things. I had a lot of people tell me that that I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do because of a variety of reasons. One, a lot of it because of how I looked, and a lot of it because I wanted to do the things I wanted to do. So, so I think that it is like Karsten. I think I do what I do because I didn't have anyone to do it for me. So I wanted to make make a world where people had that support and had that thing to look up to and all that. So
yeah, and then in that case, then you also have in common with Karsten that one of the reasons probably that you're so good at being a mentor to other people, Josh, is because nobody had done that for you. And I know that's how I feel a lot of the times when I'm mentoring people. It's not that I don't feel like that those people who mentored me didn't help me or that they didn't count. I just feel like, you know, it's there was always something more that I was missing, you know, and I guess maybe even still, there's still stuff that I want to learn, and I feel like I could still benefit from, you know, studying under somebody or just being around more people. So,
but the question, I think, Bryce, is what the stuff that Karsten was telling you when you started listening to him, is that stuff other people were telling to you and you were just being stubborn and didn't want to listen to them, or is it actually different advice and useful advice that he gave?
I think it was actually useful advice because it comes down, like, rap is very mathematical. It's very, like, it is kind of like a formula when you songwrite. And so I didn't know anything about songwriting. And so when you kind of have someone like be patient and explain it to you, even when I'm frustrated, like I think the first time that he really like spent, I think he spent like 3 hours with me on the phone one time, just talking me through how to project my voice onto a microphone, because I sounded like I was like Dr. Seussing everything before I met him. So it was like, and that's a huge thing about being a recording artist, is learning how to manipulate your voice on a microphone and doing it differently than doing it live. And so, but I will say the biggest tool that I think Karsten has taught me and is still teaching me is really just like, yes, he's given me the tools and he still like gives me advice on stuff. But I think the biggest support that I get from him is like just reminding me that there's so much power in being yourself and expressing yourself and being original to you. And so like, before I met him, I was rapping about a lot of shit that I just wasn't true to my life. And so like, now that I am more authentic to myself, like it translates, in my music, and it actually has helped build my audience a lot more. But that's literally what Pride is all about, and it's just literally being queer and expressing yourself how you feel like you should express yourself. And we don't do this. I mean, sure, we do it for other people, but at the end of the day, we do it for ourselves. We do it because we want to do it. And not because people are telling us to do it. And so when you learn how to express yourself in that way, it kind of changes your perspective on like what you should be doing. And instead of doing it for others, you do it for yourself. And I think when you stick true to that, it really translates in everything that you do. And just this last Pride, when I went and did Oslo Pride with him, that was a big kind of like lesson that I learned about Pride, was just like, because Karsten makes a lot of pop music. He makes a lot of meaningful music, and counter to what I do, I rap a lot about sex now. And I was kind of down on myself in Norway, and I was just like, I wish that I could make something like that. And he's like, you can, but don't think for 1 second that what you're doing right now is not important and true to yourself and mean it has power and meaning. And so that's one of the big things that a big pill I had to swallow, of like, I just needed to reminder that like what I'm doing is important because I want to do it and because I'm being true to myself, like I said.
I love that. Karsten, how does it feel to hear this from Bryce?
Well, I'm kind of used to being worshipped, so I don't take it like so.
As a bottom, I'm sure you are.
It's really amazing, and to have, like I told you before you even came on, it's been amazing just being a part of his journey. I think one of the most important things that I do remind Bryce of is when he's frustrated with where he's at, that you will get that feeling of being frustrated with not being where you want to be for your entire career. You will always want more. You will always feel like you haven't done enough. You will always feel like you're not good enough, and then it will pass, and then it will come again later. Because for me as well, I feel lost a lot of times too. I feel like I'm not at the level I should be. I feel like I'm not making as much money as I should be. I feel like I should be booked everywhere, and it's not fair and all of that shit. We all go through those feelings and emotions, and then we just like accepting that, well, all we can do is the best you can, and you can push as hard as you can, and you can't do anything more than that. And what
I want to
you're doing
add
is
to what he's saying, because I feel like another thing that he's taught me is reminding me of the highs and lows of being a musician, and how there are going to be great moments where you feel on top of the world, but then like you're going to also have moments after those moments where it's like a roller coaster pretty much. And that's something I literally have to remind myself of daily, because you get a lot of highs in this, when people appreciate your work and they your shit starts taking off. But then, like, you know, later on it starts to go down, and then in those moments, you know, as artists, we kind of feel like, oh shit, like I'm falling off, or like I'm not relevant anymore, or I'm not doing enough. But like at the same time, like we're still working on our stuff just behind the scenes, and like that's just kind of a part of the process. It's just learning how to live with the highs and lows, I think, is a really hard thing in music.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something earlier, Karsten, that I wanted to loop back around now that Bryce is here, and that is how you you know, like me, enjoy posting you know, pictures of you at the nude beach, or you know, pictures of your body in revealing ways that other people, that might make other people uncomfortable because they suddenly feel turned on by it. So, but you know, I think, you know, both of you guys, in a sense, you know, you have very different ways of expressing your sexuality in your music, and in your personas, you know. And so we've had several people on the season who, you know, are also, you know, musicians who aren't afraid to show off their bodies, and people like Big Dipper or Chris Condi or Dorian Wood. And in Dorian's case, you know, I felt very liberated by Dorian, like, you know, seeing them for the first time naked in a music video, like totally blew my mind, and is a huge reason why I'm able to be naked on camera at this point. But I'm just curious for you guys, you know, do you feel like that it ever feels inauthentic, that you're just trying to sell something as opposed to just being yourself, because it's also kind of sex sells kind of mentality a lot of people have?
I very rarely do shit I'm not comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Very rarely. And when I did Naked Attraction, it's a TV show over here, I did that because that was very well paid. I did not do that because I wanted to do it, but I did that because I knew that it would fund a lot of shit that I wanted to get done.
Gotcha.
But when I post shit on like Twitter, it's because I want to. And it's also sex is a big part of my music as well.
Right.
Even that little cute little pop song I did on MGP is about open relationships. So that's feel natural. I never show my dick hard. That's one of the rules I have. I never do that. But I do like posting pictures of my beautiful ass, and me being a little bit promiscuous is a part of me.
Yeah.
Then why shouldn't I do it? I'm not Bryce. I'm not a porn star, but I do post pics of myself.
Sure.
I will say for me, it is a little different.
Porn star too. You're a porn star too. I'm not comfortable enough with myself to do that, but I do like teasing a little bit. I do
sure.
like it.
I want to hear Bryce's take on this, because you were doing it before a lot of people that I know that are doing it now were. So
yeah, you know, I think for me, like when I started making when I made Good Morning, the video you played earlier, Good Morning BQ, I honestly like spent so long making music where I was like, oh, I'm not gonna rap about sex, and then I just kind of I was practicing though, because Karsten was like, you need to just practice. You just need to find beats you like and just like practice on your word flow and your projection. And I literally wrote that song in like 30 minutes on Growler, just like, oh, I'm going to make a song about sex because this guy, it was like a remix basically. And this guy has a homophobic line in it. And I just had fun with it. And now here we are 3 years later, and I have like a bunch of music about sex coming out soon. So it's like, it kind of changed my perspective on things whenever I started doing porn, because you
songs about sex. Your next project is called The Sex Tape.
Yeah, so it's a little different for me though, because I think my music is way more sex focused and hardcore than Karsten's is. So sure. And because I do porn, it's also like I'm double objectifying myself. And so like the only thing that I have issues with sometimes is I think people like a lot of my fans like send me nudes or DMs like that I just didn't ask for that are disgusting, and I'm just like I just kind of take it because I'm like thanks for the support, but sometimes it is a little exhausting because my whole life is not about sex despite what my image is, but I still love doing it and I still have fun doing it, and it is something that I like thoroughly like doing. So but yeah, I mean, rapping about sex is just fun, and it's kind of easy. It's like it just kind of comes out, you know, the dirty things I could do. I mean,
comes out.
Yeah, really.
No, but it's a good thing. What Bryce is touching on there is that people think that they can say or do whatever to you because they have this perception of what you think is okay and not. I remember specifically one thing. It was when Bryce was here, wasn't it, Bryce? When that dude from England started to respond to my ass pics on Twitter with and I'm trying to say in a polite way that I don't think this. I think this is a bit too much. And then he goes in over and like, oh no, don't you worry, boy. Daddy is gonna take it easy on you and some shit like that. I'm like, I did not ask for all of this. I'm sorry. And then he got all upset. And this happened before. He was like, oh, you don't allow people sharing pics on your page. That's a shame. You're a bad person. And it's not like that. It's just like, I will show you what I think is okay for me to show you. If you want to watch that and click that, that's great. But I don't want to see everything from everyone, and you can't talk to me in that sort of way unless we have established that that's okay first.
Right.
I think the most annoying thing that I deal with the most that Karsten doesn't deal with is people DM me all the time and ask if me and Karsten fuck. And it's just like, it literally happens like 4 times a month at least, where I literally was in Norway and somebody responded to a selfie I put on Instagram and was like, I know it's none of my business, but do you guys fuck? And I was like, yeah, it is none of your business. And no, we don't. Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't know why people feel like they have this, like, they're like obligated or they feel like they deserve like some information about you, and it's like you get what you like. I'm giving you already enough. Like you don't need to know everything. And also, like, we don't fuck, so please leave me alone. Yeah. Like,
let's clarify that right now. No incest has occurred.
Thankfully, people out there do have there's a lot of great people out there who will support you and not cross those lines, obviously, but unfortunately there are people, and you know, Josh deals with that a lot. I've dealt with that a lot, especially when I was at the height of my popularity on television. And I'll never forget the very first time that I saw someone tag me in a tweet that said, oh my God, Nakia's so hot. I want to eat his musky asshole.
Thanks for that, but I washed my ass.
I was like, it was weird because on the one hand, I was like, wow, people are tweeting about having sex with me, but like, what the fuck, musky asshole?
It's all the layers you wore. I mean, you look very.
Yes, I did sweat a lot on the voice. I pulled up that clip of you, Karsten, on this show. You know, I guess that I did know this about you, but I'm absolutely sure that I forgot. So I just it blows my mind because, you know, we're on Facebook, so I can't show all of this, but I mean, you were fully nude on national television.
Yeah, I got paid a lot of money to do that.
That's incredible. And was this the guy that was this person trying to be the date? Like they were?
Huh?
Did you have to go on a date with this person?
Oh no, I went out first.
Oh,
okay. Because I would have, but I I discussed it with my partner before, and he knew what it was.
Right.
And I was like, the production knew also that I was in a relationship.
Right.
And they were like, if you get picked, it would be great if you went on the date, but you ultimately wouldn't have to.
Okay.
You can also say no if you get picked again.
Right.
So, oh my God, I have surprise visitors.
Oh, you do?
1 minute.
Okay.
Talk about something else.
What did he say?
Talk about something else, he said.
Oh, I thought he said...
He said whole shift.
We're gonna pull him out for just a second. And when he comes back, we will actually bid adieu to Karsten and transition back into Bryce's interview. Okay, here he is. All right, so Karsten, we are unfortunately out of time anyway, so that's okay. So we're gonna move into the Bryce section of this of the show tonight. But before you go, I thought that for our faithful folks out there, since I've already played 2 brand new songs this weekend, I just wanted to give people a slight preview. I'm not going to let them hear the whole thing, but I just want to give them a slight preview of the song that you and I have been working on together called Show It To Me. Super excited. So let me put this. Okay, we are in the stream. We should be good to go. Here we go. Let's take a listen. I don't know where this is going to start in the song, so I'm just going to pick the middle and see where it is.
I got to smell it. Games you play. You've been fooling everybody, but you don't fool me. So sit right down, I'll tell you how it's gonna be. I got to feel it before I poke it. I got to smell it before I smoke it. I got to see it before I try it. I got to win, yeah, before I buy it. You know my mama didn't raise me up yesterday. You got to show it to me, baby, if you want me to stay.
Is this where you come in?
Use it on the hot ones. Can you bend like a trend being challenged? Are you a hot minute thing? Are you timeless? Unit fitness to impress me to stay. Babe, show me if your husband material on
All right. Well, that's all we can give you today, because we still got some parts to remix, as I mentioned earlier. Let me stop this. Super duper proud of this one. It's going to be such a banger. And then Bryce and I have something that I've got to apparently re-record. I need to re-record it. Is that what I need?
You didn't even record it. It's fine.
Okay.
There's no rush.
It's fine. You haven't done my audition tape yet for me, so
yeah. We'll trade.
We're almost done filming the show that you would have been on if you had done an audition tape. So too late.
Oh, before we say goodbye to Karsten, Bryce's daddy, we should say, obviously, whenever we could get Karsten to the States, once we can get him in front of Joshua, we will find somewhere to put Karsten in a Crewniverse production of some sort, Skeleton Crew, Demon Doctor, or
I'm about to start filming my first TV series now in August.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this has never been said before.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't tell you what, but I am going into acting.
Well,
so
here we go.
Fun.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us today, folks at home. Don't forget that you can stay in touch with Big Daddy Karsten by heading over to bigdaddykarsten.no. Pretty much most social media, you are at Big Daddy Karsten.
Except for Threads.
Oh, right.
Twitter at Big Daddy Karsten. Instagram at big.d.karsten.
Gotcha.
And at Big Daddy Karsten on Facebook and bigd.karsten on Snapchat.
And Big Bottom Karsten on Twitter.
All
right.
Go drink some water.
Thanks again for being with us, and we will see you very soon, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Been fun.
Thank you.
Fuck you, Bryce.
See how I get treated?
You guys are so cute.
That's what I'm used to from a parent-son relationship, so that's perfect. So,
you know, he groomed me in Norway, right? He shaped up this horrible patchy beard for me. Shout out.
I love that. We're going to take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be just talking to Bryce Quartz, host of Shine Bright with Bryce Quartz, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we're going to talk about in just a moment.
Oh, hey. How's the flight?
it was great. Thanks for meeting me at the airport.
Uh-oh.
Sir, you look stressed. Would you like a relaxing massage and blowjob?
Yes.
It's like a house of cards, and if I blow the wrong way, it's all just gonna come crashing down.
I'm worried about me and Anthony, Tom.
What's that for?
Well, we're living together. We love each other, but we're just not a team anymore.
I get it. Adulting is really, 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 really hard.
I've decided I know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
So you've heard the story about my killer day.
Heard it. I live for it.
I live my life. And I don't think that you could say that about yourself.
I am tired of giving you sage advice only to have you rebuke me.
Last night we played Hide the Rattle, and I still haven't found it.
Oh, this is a gay bar.
I'm Zach. LCHJD, the H sign up.
Why? I mean, hi.
All of you are idiots. Except you. I'll leave you all to figure out who I mean.
I wouldn't lie to him. I don't see any reason to hide the truth from my friends, family, and loved ones.
I know the owners. Almost arrested most of them at some point. They're a great bunch.
That way of life gets old.
That way of life? Or just you? I guess it's good that I have such a great sense of self-confidence.
I'm looking for a real bear god.
Who changed the light bulb in the sex spot? It's way too bright in there.
Don't you remember the good old days of playing male prostitute in the backyard with your buddies?
It's only prostitute now. Gender's dead.
Gender is dead. It's crazy that this trailer is like over 2 or 3 years old now, but you can see all of season 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all of the extras over at patreon.com/sidekick productions. Super duper stoked to be back here with you and our good friend Joshua Pangborn, my co-host, wearing his Queen's Court Games pride shirt, and our really special pal, Bryce Quartz. Hello again. So welcome back. Bryce, we obviously have had you on the show several times because you have hosted the Bear World News segment. And we had John on the inaugural episode of this season, right? I guess it was, would you call that the inaugural episode?
The premiere
episode of this season, and we talked about like what we were doing with that, if we're still doing anything with that. We kind of left it at that, but I will say we miss it. It was fun. We enjoyed it, but it's also time consuming. I know. So it's a lot.
I spoke to Richard about it, so maybe we can bring it back, but we had a meeting last week. So
nice.
I would love to do it. I'm down. And I mean, I can make it. I like doing it for your show because I could edit it, and when I do it on Growler Live on my show, it's like it's live, so it's a little bit more impromptu. But I enjoy doing that because I get to do like a TV presenter voice and be a little more professional.
It's a lot of fun, and I felt like the editing part, what you could tell you were getting better at it, and so like it's like oh he's adding this, he added a little transition here, and then you do like this kind of thing. I love that stuff. That was great. Yeah, we need to get you a green screen at the apartment.
Yeah. I just have this bear thing in the back, and
what you could do for your Growler show, and we'll talk about Shine Bright in a moment because I'm going to be live with you this week, and so is John actually. But what you could do is when it comes time for that segment, you could turn your phone and point it at the computer screen where you've edited it in 9:16 like this instead of the full thing, and have a little like put it on a tripod and just like show it that way. I've never thought about that before, like showing content. Like, do people game on Growler like the way they do on Twitch?
A lot of people on Growler Live, I think the people who have fun with it and stream often, I think a lot of people think that you just have to like, it's all about getting gifts and it's all about just like shallow talking to people, which it can be, and it can be fun. You have conversations with people, but I think people that really enjoy Growler long term, you just kind of get on there and do your own thing. And so a lot of people do game, but it's kind of hard because it's not like built like Twitch to where you can like plug in things. So
right.
I've seen people where they have like projectors behind them so that you can still see their face while they're playing, and it's still on the TV in front of them.
Oh wow.
So that's a cool thing to do. I've thought about gaming on there. It's just I don't have a projector. So,
do you game on Twitch?
No, I don't. I don't have a capture card, so I really don't want to like do it without doing it professionally. But I don't really play like competitive games. It would just be me playing Tears of the Kingdom and beating it in 2 weeks.
See, I mean, that's, on TikTok, there are tons of people who just play Mario Brothers every day, and you just see their screen on their TV. So. It's very
Well, TikTok also has a way to stream with a capture card and separate devices and mics. They have all these inputs you can do now, so you can oftentimes you'll find people that'll stream on Twitch and TikTok at the same time. But what they're doing is they're putting. It's kind of like StreamYard, where you like you basically are already streaming on Twitch, and then you input in what you're streaming on Twitch, so it shows like your face and the full quality. I don't know how they do all that, but. If I ever did gaming, I would do something like that. I just don't really have the money or the time to invest in that because I don't want to do it like half-assed. I want to like do it a little bit more professionally.
How do you have 9,000 followers almost on TikTok? Jeez.
Yeah, so I put out that song "Good Morning BQ" where I just was kind of having fun. That was the first song I wrote about sex, and at the time it was a different moment on TikTok where like you basically like any video can go viral on TikTok. They kind of just push whatever they want on the algorithms.
Right.
So I was just like doing what Karsten told me to do, and I was writing music to different instrumentals and just kind of testing out to see what people liked. And I posted that video of Good Morning BQ. And it just kind of took off and overnight. And then I woke up with like thousands of followers, and it just was kind of a crazy moment.
That is so wild.
They don't like me now. It's probably because my music's a lot dirtier now. So that's why I keep getting banned on every single thing that I post. But I will say all the music coming out, the next music, it is very raunchy. It is very dirty, but I actually have clean versions of every song.
I need that crumb dripping.
So this is the video in question.
Yes.
This video has been liked about 69,000 times. It's been viewed 285,000 times. And it's just you rapping over the top of your single.
And I messed it up too. I think it's funny that I messed up my lyrics as well. I'm like driving in the car, smoking a cigarette, and I messed up my own lyrics, and somehow that went viral. So I was like, okay, cool.
But that's the thing is that again, we're back to the authenticity. It's like it's not like you said, "Fuck, I got to start over," and that's what I would have done. I would have just said, "Fuck it," and started over. But you're like, "No, fuck it, I'm just gonna put this up there anyway." And that was your very first one.
Yeah, well, I will say I've deleted a lot of stuff, and a lot of what you're seeing on here now, it's because we follow each other and we're friends on there. So a lot of these are not visible to the public, like the ones with the
Gotcha.
lower view counts.
Right.
Because I'm kind of weird about that. I do delete. I'll post something and then I'll delete it or make it friends only, like a day after if it doesn't get over a certain amount of views. So I am kind of like picky about it now, just because like I've seen what happens when you start to go viral, and so if something doesn't take off immediately, I kind of just private it because I really when I do drop this next project, there's going to be professional visuals, there's going to be a professional rollout, it's all going to be planned out. So a lot of what I've been putting on TikTok is just kind of like me saying, like throwing it out there, like here's a sample of the demo or whatever, just to see what happens. The only issue with doing that is if I did do that and then it went viral, you're going to have thousands of people saying, drop this, drop this, drop this. And then you
Right.
have to rush the rollout. So that's the only thing that I do face issues with. But I do need to post more on there, which is why every now and then I'll post something. But I haven't really been focusing on like this and putting out an insane amount of content because I really want people to see the difference between when I dropped Good Morning and it was just, sure, it was authentic and that's why it sold, but I really want people to hear and see the difference in quality and work and time that I put into it. So that's kind of like why I don't really post a lot, because I just really want to, like, when it's ready, it's ready, you know, and I just
Yeah.
really want it to, like, I've put thousands of dollars into this next mixtape, just recording, mixing, and mastering, and so I'm gonna put the same amount of money and time into the videos and the content and the rollout, because I think it deserves that treatment, and I'm really proud of this next body of work. So I want it to be perfect for me first. So also one of my AirPods just died, so if my mic's off, that's why.
No, you're good. How many songs are going to be on this mixtape?
There are 5 songs on this mixtape. I wrote like 20 to 30 songs and then picked the best 5. And that's something Karsten taught me. You know, his first album after coming out of the closet that he dropped, he told me he wrote like 80 songs for it. And there's only like 10, 15 songs on that whole album. And I think a lot of that has to do with like being like, he really taught me how to kill your babies, if you will. That sounds so fucked up, but it's like, in a way, like, you know, me and Karsten have a lot of songs that are not out, and some of them were like moments of like we have a song about COVID that we did, and I think it's a great song, but like, you know, it's just not it's just that moment has passed, and I was like begging him to let me put it out, but he's like, I think we need to move on. I think you just need to just accept that, like, we can make something different for a different moment. And that was a pill I had to swallow, but it's also like, he's very right. And I think when I made the sex tape that I'm planning on dropping, there's a lot of songs on there with a lot of features originally. And then I kind of just like hammered it down to just like the best of the best. Cause that's kind of like what I want to put out. I wanted to prove that I am capable of doing something different, but higher quality.
I really love hearing this from you, Bryce. It's like super exciting.
It's hard to.
I'm excited.
It's hard to kill your babies. It is. It's still something I'm still learning to do many years after doing it all. So,
I obviously, you know, you've got to have at least one of these music videos shot by Joshua and SideKick. That's what you need to do. It's like have some kind of,
let's talk, because I have some plans for my videos where me and Karsten, we have a music video coming out because he's the only feature on this next mixtape, and so we filmed something in Norway, so that might actually be the first single that comes out with the video. But as far as like Come Pirate, which is one of the songs that I have, and this other song called Daddy Dick, those are 2 of my favorites on the EP. So I'm planning on doing like 2 music videos per song in a way. So the first video, like whenever we do the shoot or whatever, it'll be like the first half of the shoot will be like the safe for work, TikTok friendly version. You know, because I need to put something out for all platforms without getting banned for once. But then the second half, I'm actually trying to do something that I don't think I've seen anyone do the way I want to do it. So I'm trying to go down this route where I film porn, and there's going to be porn in the video, and then you'd have to either purchase the video or you'd have to subscribe to my Just for Fans to see it.
Right.
But I really want it to be something like really sexy and different that no one's ever done before. And I will be putting myself out there and letting myself get objectified. But, you know, when you sign up for this, you kind of know what you're signing up for. So,
Sure.
But I am excited for that. So, I mean, I'm down to talk about it because I do need help with it. It's a lot of planning, you know.
Well, I can already see there's so many great ideas that you could do for any of the songs that I've heard that you've previewed, like Come Pirate and stuff, that Josh could make the non-porn one.
Yeah,
I'm sure I can handle the porn one as well.
I'm sure you could. But I mean, the nudity in A Taste of Youth is probably the most nude that we've done for SideKick.
Yeah, I mean, we pushed ourselves a lot in A Taste of Youth to put nudity into it because it's, I mean, a horror feature film generally has nudity in it. But that's a big part of what the horror genre is playing with that idea of exploitation and everything, sexploitation, if you will. So we definitely have played with that. I mean, most of our work generally ends up on YouTube, so you can't really do nudity.
Right.
But I knew that A Taste of Youth, no matter what, wasn't going to be on YouTube. So
right,
unless you're doing an educational Nair video.
Yes.
then you can get 37 million views.
Wow.
That's my next step. So.
Wow. So a few other things that we wanted to touch on before we forget. Let's go back to Shine Bright for a minute because you invited me to be on the season premiere of Shine Bright. This is season 2 or 3?
2.
2.
Oh, sorry, the camera's there.
Season 2 of Shine Bright, and you seemed more excited about this season when you reached out. What's different?
So, you know, I came back to Growler to launch season 2 with different conditions. So now that I have like my needs being met, I feel a little bit more appreciated and valued on the platform. So it's I'm actually really excited for this season because, you know, I'm getting what I wanted in the first place as far as like behind the scenes stuff. So
Right.
It's going to be like better promoted. And I have a lot of new guests this season. And I think like I really want with this show, my whole idea behind it was, and why I like doing it is because it's a platform for me to share with everyone else. And despite how much I talk about myself, I don't really talk about myself on the show because I really wanted to create a platform to showcase all the influential and talented people in our community. You know, I'm not going to get too much into it, but I think that, you know, we need to showcase how many people of color we have in this amazing community. And I think, unfortunately, our community has had some hiccups there. And so I feel like I have this great opportunity to use the power and influence that I have to share this platform with everyone else and showcase like just how much talent there is in our community and how many different people there are. So this season I have some new guests that I'm pretty excited to bring on, and I'm not going to like spoil it or anything, but you know, of course I have you and I have John for the first episode, which I'm really excited about, but I don't think I'll be getting Karsten on there, by the way, because I think it's like 4 a.m. his time. So sorry, Karsten. But yeah, I am excited for this season because it's going to be a lot more new guests. Some guests from last season, and it's going to involve a lot of people's favorites that they already follow or listen to their music or they've seen them on TV. So it is. I'm really excited for this. You know, just to be able to bring this to Growler and like show the bear community on this platform, like how diverse and talented our community really is. And then I also do the bear news segment in the middle, which just kind of highlights. I feel like it's just like a talk show. That's pretty much what Shine Bright is. It's just me being the Ellen DeGeneres of the bear community. Just a little less problematic. But anyways, I do enjoy doing it though, and sharing such a platform with that. But I think like that's one of the major things that I feel like I was put on this earth to do, was to help people. And, you know, I did in-home care for 4 years, and I was helping people there. Thank God I'm not doing it anymore. It's exhausting, and emotionally and physically. But now I feel like with my music, you know, I'm able to help people in that way. But also, like when I did Bait, I did this show in New York at Rock Bar for a few months, and it was where it was a bear music showcase. And it was just where I basically booked bear musicians from around the country. And it was focused on music. And so that was like, I'm all about helping other people and trying to like lift up everyone around us. Cause I think that's like a big misconception with like how we feel as artists. Sometimes I think we get really competitive and we feel jealous of other people's success, or we get like, we feel some type of way. But I think there are seasons for all of us when we release new things or we're doing something cool. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating the success of other people while you're working on your own stuff. And so like I really want to kind of bring that energy out of everybody and let people know that, like, especially, this is mainly at artists, this isn't at the audience, but I think like us as artists, like I said, we do get into this headspace of like where we're jealous when someone else is winning, but I don't think it should be that way. And I think we should just celebrate each other for the individuality and uniqueness that we all bring to the table. And that's something that I'm very lucky that Growler has let me do with Shine Bright. You know, I get to speak to so many different people and showcase it to hundreds of people on a live platform on Growler. Like I've been using Growler for how long, and now it's something so much different. So it's just really cool to be able to do that and not talk about myself. Like I genuinely like that. I like that in this moment where I'm growing as an artist and working on my own stuff, you know, I get to celebrate other people and what they're doing instead of just it being about me. You know, I don't like that. Like and when I drop music though, I do want it to be about me for like at least a week. But like
it's gotta be longer than a week. You gotta
be fun.
You gotta put some elbow grease into it when it comes out. And it sounds like you're making all the right moves towards that. I think, you know, again, it's so encouraging to hear younger artists who understand the need to actually, you know, put effort behind the release, not just to just push the button and it's gone and you don't think about it. You know, before the show started, Joshua had mentioned that he had played Smile for Paul and Andrew yesterday on set, and that he was having a hard time finding some of your music online. And I said, yeah, you know, he's got a bunch of stuff up there. And I honestly didn't think about that there was this difference. And it wasn't until you said this earlier when you kind of referred to yourself as a SoundCloud rapper. And when I thought about that, that's why I posted your SoundCloud link earlier, because I went to your SoundCloud and like you are really prolific. There's a lot of, you put out a lot of songs on SoundCloud.
Yeah, so the further down you go, like where you are now, a lot of that is my first 3 mixtapes before I met Karsten. So that's why they're only on SoundCloud. I took them off all platforms because I think when you have something on all platforms, you kind of want people to see the best of the best.
Right.
All of this shit sucks that you're showing. Please don't go stream any of this. It's literally just for the fans who got mad at me for deleting it. And they're like, oh my God, I want to hear it. And I'm like, why? Anyways, I keep it on SoundCloud, but what you don't see is if you go to the very top again, I think it says I have like 61 songs on the top right, or something like that. Yeah. I have like 150 tracks, actually. They're just all hidden.
Right.
So
same.
There's a lot of demos there. To me, SoundCloud is just a cool way to organize my music and share it with friends to get advice and stuff. So I do have a lot of music that I just haven't put out, but like I said, something Karsten has really hammered into my fucking head is, you know, like just making sure that what I put out next is something of high quality, and that way people can see the growth. And that's really the big thing. It's just, I want people to see and hear the difference between what I worked on years ago to what I've done and completed now. And there's a lot of eyes on me right now. There's a lot of people watching and anticipating. And so there is a lot of pressure behind it. But I will say, like, I don't really care about that pressure now. I care more about what I think and how I think it should come out. And so that's why I don't have a lot of music out. Like, I haven't put out a solo song since Good Morning BQ, because I like I said, I really want it to be something that I can tour off of for the next 4 years. So it's something that, like, it's just very important to me. And, you know, unfortunately, I've been through a lot of shit the last 2 years since that song came out. Like, I moved to New York from North Carolina, and, you know, I've had a lot of health issues that have set me back a lot. And that's part of the main reason why I haven't had the money or time to invest into this. But a lot of it is just learning how to take care of myself and be an adult. And it's just a part of life. So, you know, I've had to learn a lot of hard things the last few years, but, and some of my fans are pissed, but stay mad. Like, it'll come out when it's ready. You know, like, I don't think I'm not making this for you. I'm making it because I want to make it. And so, like, that's something I've had to accept. Trust me. Okay. Like, I want to put it out. Like, it's not like I'm just holding on to it just to see how long until people forget about me. Trust me. If I could have put this out 2 years ago, I would have put it out, but then I wouldn't have put all this time and effort and thought into it. And I really wanted to get, like, the recognition I think it deserves. So it's really all about that. Like, it's nothing personal towards my fans or just trying to, like, piss everyone off and just not put out music. But yeah, it's just really about making sure it's the right time. And, you know, going through all these health issues with my kidney, with my back, and it's just one of those things where I've had to wait. And, like, it is what it is. It's things out of my control. And trust me, you can ask Karsten the many times that I've cried and wept and just wanted to give up on everything because of all the shit I've been through. But, you know, like I said, going to Norway this year, like, I literally wanted to quit music like 4 months ago. And I was at a very low place. And, but going to Norway and being with Karsten, and having these experiences with him, getting to perform in front of thousands of people, and seeing those people appreciate my work that's not even out yet. And, like, having some people in the audience, like, learn some of my hooks by the end of the song is just insane to me. And it kind of reminded me of what I'm reaching for. And there's a lot of things that happened to Karsten too while we were there. Like, he wrote a song called 25 Juni, which is about the terrorist attack that happened last year at Pride, which happened about 30 minutes after one of our sets at Oslo Pride. And, you know, it took him a long time to process it, because they don't really have terrorist attacks like we do in America. So, you know, when I was there and I experienced that, it was just really hard, because the way that we react to shootings here and terrorist attacks here, it's so much different than how they deal with it. And it was just really traumatizing seeing all of his friends call him for the next 5 hours after our show. And you know, when he wrote 25 Juni, I think he wrote it in like April, I think. And then, you know, he wasn't able to even really process what happened for the longest time, because it's just so fucked up what happened. But the amount of outpouring and love that he got from that, and people commenting things saying, like, you know, I couldn't process this until I heard you put this into words. There's some other, he put out another song called On My Mama, which has a lot to do with about empowering women in his life and how important women are to us as humans. There's just a lot of things that while I was there, he was getting DMs or comments from people saying how much it moved them. And there's just so much power behind the words and things that he said. And like, I don't get as much of that as he does, because we don't make the same music, you know, so I haven't really made like an introspective song yet. But seeing the power in your words as a musician and as a rapper, it's just like, it was just a friendly reminder of what I do this for. And,
Good.
you know, I do get DMs every now and then thanking me for just writing about sex and representing myself, you know, expressing myself. And that's why we do it. You know, we do it for ourselves, but we also do it because what we're doing is so important that we don't even know how many lives we're touching. And we don't even know what the power that we have sometimes, because not everyone sends a DM, not everyone makes a post, and we're literally touching people's lives just by being ourselves. And I think that was the best reminder, being in Norway, of like, I've come too far to quit, you know, and there's so much work and time that I've put into this that it would be fucking stupid to just give up. And, you know, like, I'm not going to. And life is hard and life sucks, but, you know, that's just a part of life. And I think once I finally put this out, it will be very cathartic for me to have something that I've spent so long on and worked so hard on and waited so impatiently to put out. Like, I think it'll be a breath of fresh air for me, because I'm so beyond ready. Trust me, I've listened to these songs for 3 fucking years. Okay, I know them like
Listen, I know how hard that is.
Like,
I debuted a single on live on the radio on Friday that I wrote 12 years ago, and most of it was recorded 12 years ago. So I've lived with that song for so long, but now is the right time for that song.
It's hard because I mean, with Skeleton Crew, I'm used to putting a show out every year, and then the pandemic happened, and I had to sit there and wait for the Skeleton Crew to come out. I'm like, I'm not used to having to sit there for 3 years and wait for the show that we shot, and Demon Doctor season 2 we filmed in 2021, and it's still coming out in 2023, and I'm like, this is insane. And then I mean, we're still in post production on A Taste of Youth. Which we filmed last year, and I thought I'd be done by now, but no, we're not. But I can't wait for people to see it because you are in a nice little cameo in that. So in the gym, so working out.
The selfie boys. That was a lot of fun to have you and Will on set. And speaking of Will, I've been, popping in to your Growler lives, not Shine Bright, but just your fucking off stuff. And I love it when it's one of these where Will is tattooing you or Will is in the room doing something. You guys have this real fun, kind of opposites attract almost roommate dynamic on camera, if you will. The way that Will's deadpan delivery of everything, with very rarely having kind of like any kind of like humor in his voice, because when he thinks it's funny, you can really tell, but otherwise you can't sometimes tell. And then you're kind of always in this kind of like, I don't know, like you're like the chaos agent in the whole thing, How did you?
I love to bring chaos. Oh God. First, let me explain something first, because everyone thinks because we bicker and fight all the time on camera that we're dating. We're not fucking dating. God, leave me alone about that shit. Leave us the fuck alone about it. It's like the most obnoxious thing. But funny enough, we met on Growler, and I was like, hey, let's hang out. And like, I think I had to beg him to hang out because I had no friends. And I was like, please. So then I went over to Queens because I was living in Brooklyn at the time. And then we hung out, and we have the same taste in music. We both smoked a lot of weed at the time. I don't smoke weed anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, so we just kind of hit it off right away with both of our personalities. And fast forward to now, and we're roommates, and we just fuck around all the time. And we both do different things. We're both very busy people. So honestly, we don't even really see each other most of the time unless we're home and we have days off at the same time. So
because he's at a shop now, right?
Yeah, he has his own shop in Brooklyn that he works at. And I think he's there now. I think he's tattooing somebody today.
How many times
he's tattooed
you? How many times has he tattooed you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So basically, you're his practice.
Yeah,
his practice.
We have this stick and poke that he gave me. That was one of his first tattoos he ever did. We don't really talk about this one. He will be covering it. But you can look immediately below it, and that's from a machine, and it does look a lot better. So and I'm not going to show you the one on my back because I keep getting banned when I show it anywhere. So because they think I'm showing my ass, but I will show this one because this Karsten will be mad if I don't. But the Bomsamoom's tattoo. You can't.
Oh right. Here, let me solar you.
The Bomsamooms. And hold on one second, I'll get some Bomsamooms because I have some.
Oh, you brought
It's basically this.
Aww.
And it's a chocolate-covered marshmallow, and it means bear snack, so I'm the bear snack.
I love that. Well, we've really thoroughly enjoyed having you back on the show, Bryce. I'm excited to see you on Wednesday. Tell everybody when they can see Shine Bright with Bryce Quartz on Growler.
So the season premiere is this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and it's on Growler Live. You can just go, when you go on Growler, you just literally click on the very bottom of Growler, there's a thing that has the live platform, and every Wednesday at 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'll be in the featured spot. It'll be like a purple thing, and you can find it right there. So it'll be this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time is the premiere, and then it'll be every Wednesday thereafter at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So that's where you can find it, and you should be getting a push notification soon on Growler yourself. So all 120,000 people on Growler will see my name. So
nice. Well, thanks again for being here, and thanks again to Big Daddy Karsten for being here. We are going to say goodbye to our good friend Bryce Quartz, and Bryce, I will see you on Wednesday. And I'll be in New York, by the way, at the end of August, so we should definitely connect in person and chat about that on Wednesday.
Yes, I'm down. Also, Joshua, I'll have you on soon too. I'll talk to you about some dates.
Yay!
I'll be there, ready whenever you need me.
All right, everybody.
Thanks
Bryce
for having
Quartz, thank you so much.
Thanks, Bryce.
What a treat.
Absolutely. It's always a delight to have Bryce on. And it was really great to meet Karsten. I've never met him in person, but he has such a fun personality on X now. And whenever I see him posting, he looks like such a fun person to be around. And so,
speaking of musky assholes, Elon Musky.
I mean, so it's good that you have a nice little memory. That's a song right there. I mean, your musky asshole cited eventually became Elon Musk. So,
well, we're gonna take a moment, and I'm going to play a brand new song that I played on Friday on air. And as we found out later, unfortunately, folks, the video stream that they were doing that was not good quality, so nobody could see or hear what we were doing if you weren't tuned in to the app or the radio station. So we're going to play this new song here called Life is Change. This is the video from it that Robert shot on Friday. This was live on Sun Radio. And then Joshua and I will be back to do our post-show wrap, and I'm going to go see Haunted Mansion. So stand by for a new song. We'll be.
This is one of those new songs.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a brand new song that I actually have never recorded anything but a phone demo for, and I sent it to Andy last night, and he actually learned it overnight. I co-wrote this with Sandra Williams, who is an amazing vocalist and musician, and she, for years, was one of the backing vocalists for the Dat Kings and Sharon Jones, and right now she's out on the road with Mavis Staples. So Sandra, if y'all are out there listening, this is called Life is Change. I'm going to dedicate this one to Brad Hauser. Life is change, and it can get better, but sometimes the joy can outweigh the pain. Life is change, but like stormy weather, one minute standing in the sun, the next in the rain. So don't waste your time looking for someone to blame. Life is has changed. Life has changed. The coming and going, doors open to close, and just hoping for some good times ahead. Life has changed. I do understand it, but sometimes it's so hard to accept it the same. I won't waste my time. No, I won't complain. Life has changed. You gotta take the bad with the good. What the hell does that mean? Take me out of this pile of shoulds. I don't gotta live in between. Life has changed, and it's such a short movie. We play our parts of broken hearts, trying to pretend they ain't in pain. Sometimes it gets so confusing. Sometimes it's so damn strange. Life has changed. All right, I want y'all to help us sing. I'm gonna teach you a little part right here, just like this. La 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 la. Y'all sing it. La 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 la. One more time. Life has changed, and it can get better. Life has changed. Life has changed. It's such a short movie.
Yeah, Nakia, everybody. Andy Nolte on guitar. That's good, man.
Thank you.
That's really
Thank you.
Excellent work. We got some really excited people in the audience with a new song. Jalen was really happy.
Thank you, Jalen.
For Jason, it's
Oh wow, Jason.
hitting him hard. He was laid off from a job 23 years last month. It's been hard, but change has been for the good. And he's right. I mean, change is for the good. Most of the time we have to find the good in the change sometimes, but it's always about finding ways to grow.
Well, thanks everybody for being here today. We had a lovely show with Big Daddy Karsten from Norway, Bryce Quartz from right there in Queens, New York, down the street from you, and I believe they're in Astoria.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, and
So a little bit more than down the street, but
don't forget to go out there and follow these folks, and make sure to support them because they are actively doing their part and a lot really more to support the community. Joshua and I will be back next week. Let's see. Today is the 3rd.
We'll be playing this live tomorrow, recorded.
Right.
But, if anybody is not able to, if you're watching this and it's Monday, then surprise, this is pre-recorded. But hello, thank you for joining us.
Yes. And August 7th, tell us, Joshua, who we've got.
We have, I believe, the fabulous folk from Monster Makeup Productions to talk to us about their new horror film, their queer horror film, Saint Drogo. You might know these wonderful people from our Halloween episode that we did last year. They are the amazing group behind Death Drop Gorgeous, the queer drag queen slasher film that has a lot of fun and wonderful things going on in it. So if you haven't watched Death Drop Gorgeous, you can watch it on Shudder. And if you haven't watched Saint Drogo, well, that's mostly because you haven't probably been to one of the festivals they're playing in. But eventually they will be airing somewhere. But in the meantime, check them out with their festivals. This is an amazing folktale, queer folktale horror. So come and join us next week and find out more about it.
All right. Well, we'll be around. Until then, thanks so much for being here. See you next time.
Bye.
And that's the tea.